Can I say that the HAV guy is a bitch? Because we had that Air Force dude who set himself on fire.
Can I help you, sir? All right, Doc?
Okay, self-immolation is as hardcore as it gets. I don't know if you've ever seen anybody burn themselves alive before, but it ain't quick.
That guy's already kind of been forgotten.
The cop that dude goes in front, pours gasoline all over himself, lights himself on fire, starts screaming, free Palestine, free Palestine. A cop comes up and pulls his gun on him. Like, what are you doing?
Don't worry, guys, I got it under control.
Welcome to America.
Please.
What's great is you can hear another guy yelling at him, and he's like, "Will you get fucking a fire extinguisher?" I got him under. Don't worry, it's got it under control.
Pepper sprays him.
Pepper sprays. Yeah.
Pepper spray.
Pepper sprays putting it out, but it's burns.
Dude, that's so wild.
Yeah.
To burn yourself alive for a conflict happening a world away.
Especially in today. Look, that would like in
this is the guy who look. I noticed a few minutes ago. Taylor said, "What are empathic people? People who aren't psychopaths." And then here he is. Who would burn themselves alive for those people dying on the other side of the world? No empathy whatsoever for the Palestinians. None. Okay,
you'd make a terrible ship's counselor.
You got me.
Clearly a Republican.
Also got him.
Dude, at least when those monks were doing it in fucking Cambodia or whatever, it was like, why are you doing this? Well, you're killing us right now. Here,
also,
like,
it was at a period
of
time where I didn't experience man-made horrors beyond my comprehension literally every 15 seconds. The guy lights himself on fire now. I'm like, oh, whatever. I watched a Chinese guy get wrapped around industrial machinery and spun to the ground 100 times. That was way worse.
Yeah, that was. Dude, you spin yourself around a lathe for Palestine, then you get the eyeballs.
Yeah, I don't take it real seriously. I'd be like, oh my God. Dude, I watched that guy's limbs get whipped into the ground at 100 miles an hour.
We gotta do something. That was ghastly.
I can't take any more of that, Mr. President. Please.
If you set yourself on fire and jump into an industrial lathe, I'll go to Palestine tomorrow.
What if it was one of those, those compactors that's just two wheels with teeth spinning into each other that they throw like whole cars and barbecue grills into? I'd like to think it would be a quick death. But my luck, it would just like grate the flesh off me for a while. And my head would just like be in there spinning as it just like slowly took chunks of it.
They dispose of cows with those things.
Oh, I've seen it. Yes, that's right. Yeah. Actually, on second thought, it eats those cows quick.
Yeah, you would you'd have to jump head first. Like that's the only way to get that done
I'm sure people have fallen into them.
Dude, it doesn't matter. You're going to die within 10 seconds. 5. Yeah. It's pretty quick.
A rough 5 seconds.
Yeah.
All right. What would you pick?
Head.
Yeah, die.
I think it takes a while.
Remember Alabama? I think maybe put that guy to death with like nitrogen asphyxiation about a month ago. Would you rather take that untested, unproven method, or we throw you into old chomp?
Nitrogen. That's beyond. That's the easiest decision.
You can dive head first into the trash machine if you want.
Will a lot of people watch it?
I mean, on 4chan.
Okay.
on Lively.
So you're saying I could be a recurring GIF on.
You know what the joke would be? The joke would be that your diving form was off, and it would just be like cartoons holding up like low numbers, like it was the Olympics as you died.
Yeah,
like yeah.
I mean, nitrogen. Yeah.
Did you ever see this Onion video? This was my favorite Onion video ever. Ohio replaces lethal injection with a machine that rips your head off. This beautiful 3D rendered thing, and it's like it then grabs the prisoner's head and just
rips your head. Have you seen those
please do that. That's pretty great.
Those terrifying photos of it's like some 34-year-old woman who's like, I'm sad. I'm going to the Netherlands to be in the suicide pod. And then it's like them laying in a pod, giving a thumbs up as they're about to be killed.
Well, a lady just did that famously. A lady, she was tweeting the day she live streamed her last day. She's like, "Hey, let's have a little party," and everyone's like, "Oh my God, what horrible disease does she has that she wants to die?" And they're like, "Oh, chronic fatigue. She's just real sleepy all the time." And you're like, "Oh man, then she's gonna
little coffee could have saved that life."
There's a way around this.
At that point, if you're so fatigued you want to kill yourself, try every upper on earth. Like, try them all. What's the worst that happens? You get a hot shot
What
of
would you
fent?
prescribe to her, Dr. Taylor?
Coke. A huge amount of cocaine. And then if she notices she has to shit very soon afterward, that's a lot of baby laxative in there. You need a better guy. So that's what she needs. A little bit of drugs. I mean, like, why not? If the alternative is going to Canada or fucking the Netherlands, I thought it was the Netherlands for some reason. Maybe I'm wrong. But going there and sitting in a pod and dying, Jesus.
You ever?
Do they do the pod still? I thought the pod was like a proof of concept.
You mean you can kill someone anywhere?
You ever read about the suicide roller coaster concept?
Yes. Yeah.
Because they're like, listen, we want to be able to kill people, so we'll just design a roller coaster that reaches such a height that you just lose all oxygen when you get to the top of the loop, and then you're just dead coming back down. You don't even feel it.
I remember it being like a lot of.
That's a ridiculous idea.
It was a lot of.
No, but like it could work. It's like
the point of it was that it was so many loops in a row.
Oh, so many loops. Yeah, that's what it was.
And they weren't like. Apparently, there's a way that roller coaster loops are made in like an elongated way so that it puts less G's on your body. And this would be made in a way so it's maximizing the G's you're feeling. And so you would be loop after smaller or after bigger loop after and just until you die.
You just need to be in a centrifuge and spun. You don't need a whole track and
or like how many tall buildings do we already have?
Then there's like little there could be like a ride. It could be like Splash Mountain, like characters are singing and shit.
You definitely can't take them to altitude.
Splash Mountain.
Hey, there you go. That looks fun.
A hypothetical euthanasia roller coaster. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Can you imagine the guy who like came up with this? Where they're like, "You got to come up with something. They're going to cut our funding." He's like,
welcome to the Global Science Conference. We've just seen a man who can turn water into electricity. What do you have? A roller coaster that kills people?
I think
you're not allowed to be a scientist anymore, sir.
Yeah, we're revoking your science card. You've used it for evil, for foolishness.
It's like when The Rock made that child molesting robot.
When do you think they will understand we are both scam artists? They should bronze bull those guys, put them on the cart, and send them through.
Yeah, you just spin the person
of their own machine.
Taylor, you ever watch somebody do something that's clearly just real hard, but then convince yourself, I could do that if I wanted to?
Yeah, I've seen those oil rig workers where I'm like, I could do that without getting caught in the machinery immediately.
I'd last a week easy.
Dude, one metal pipe just...
and they're like slapping that chain around and pulling that huge thing over, putting a new section of pipe in, and there's like shit moving everywhere that could kill, and they're just clamping it on. They got a whole rhythm to it, and then all of a sudden he lets it go, and you see go, and everybody looks down the hole at the pipe just disappeared down into the earth.
The 3,000 yards it just fell into
shit,
the belly of the earth. Yeah, I think oil rig worker is the most recent video I've seen.
Well, I watched a little film last night called Everest, I think. It's about a failed expedition to summit Mount Everest. Like, you've probably
was that the documentary, or was that the
Jake Gyllenhaal and like a ton of A-list actors
on the
in it.
story,
like everybody's in it. Like it's the most recent Mount Everest movie with like every good actor in it.
It's like the based on a true story type thing, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
At the end, they show you the real life people's pictures, and you're like, damn, that's good casting. Like, a lot of them look a lot like the actors. It's really impressive. But dude, I think I'd climb Mount Everest if I wanted to. Because hear me out. Hear me out. The climbing Mount Everest seems to me to be vacationing to Nepal and then having your shit carried to the base camp and then hanging out there for like 6 or 8 weeks while you acclimate to like the altitude, and then you sort of go on a really tough hike for like a day up some steep shit that's covered in ropes and pegs and guides while some people carry your shit for you and you're on oxygen. It just seems like a tough hike that you need to be a millionaire to go on.
I don't know.
The guys going on it are not like super mountaineers. It is like a lot of rich guys just like doing it for the sake of doing it.
That's why the deads are not impressive. It's not like the greatest mountaineers in the world. It's not like K2 like killed a bunch of people or something. It's fucking Bob the orthodontist who always dreamed of summiting. And in that movie I watched, sure enough, there's this weak fucking link. Taylor, he has bronchitis, clearly. You know that raspy cough where it's like, there's like clearly liquidy gunk going on? He has that the day before. The day before they're going to go to the summit. They're like,
you need
all
to
right, we're
rain
going
check
up tomorrow. And it's like his second trip. He'd already failed once before because weather came in. And this is a guy who works 3 jobs and has been given a discount. And the school that helped him raise money back home because he's a teacher, like, gave him this little flag to plant up there. So it's like, pull at your heartstrings, you know. We got to get Doug up there. That was his name, Doug. By the way, Doug don't make it.
Was his name? Yeah.
Does he make it up?
Oh, he makes it up. Whatever their Mossad, whatever they call their like CIA, their intelligence. And because they were definitely like some people who weren't afraid of getting their hands dirty if it involved Iran. I felt like they were always a good partner for us. Whenever the U.S. wrote that worm that like they just released into the global ecosystem, and an Iranian scientist in the nuclear centrifuge like compound, it was cut off from the world. There were no wires that ran to it, but this guy went home, logged into the internet, and came back to work with the same thumb drive that had been in his laptop. And that worm was in everything. So it was in his fucking thumb drive. And when he plugged it into it, when he got back to the nuclear centrifuge place, it told the centrifuge to spin a little bit faster. And nobody knew until it tore the centrifuge apart. And I guess nuclear centrifuges are really expensive. That's the whole point. Yeah.
And they're tricky to build. So you can't just whip up another one. Yeah, I've heard this too.
I love that story.
Yeah, they made a virus that only harmed like one computer on the entire planet, and it was really good at self-replicating. It got everywhere. We might have it now. I don't know, but it only hurts this one Iranian computer.
Seems like we do a lot of giving in the relationship. We don't do enough getting.
Like me now.
I'm sorry. You don't like Seinfeld? You don't watch the reruns all the time? Thank Israel, sir.
Touche. Yeah.
Okay, that's perhaps the strongest argument I've heard. Because I do love Kramer and his antics.
Arguments for the state of Israel.
Man, I'm getting sad watching these Twitter videos of the bombings. I'm going to take a night off with Seinfeld.
I had to stop watching the bombings because they were just rough. First of all, there weren't any more buildings that I can see. Like, it's just rubble. And I was like, all right, they'll stop bombing because no one drops bombs on rubble. But then the Palestinians put up tents.
Yeah, well, there were combat teddy bears in those girls' arms.
You think Israelis hate buildings made of rubble? They despise tents, okay? They see a blue tent in the desert, and they will drop 2,000-pound bombs on it from the air.
There could be anything going on in that tent.
Even terrorism. That's a 2-person tent, Kyle.
They can see through the tent.
They can.
Yeah, it's been
little
awful.
girl-shaped object could be anything.
It's
Iran now CIA informants say Iran now producing little girl-shaped bombs over to Fox News for the story. These are so sophisticated they can walk and talk, Diane. It's getting unbelievable. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And while we're hyper focused on that, I guess that's the focus right now. It seems globally, Ukraine's definitely taking a back seat. But that shit that's happening in Haiti right now, I don't even know if y'all have y'all caught any of it? Because here's what happened.
There's never good news out of there.
I'm not usually.
All right, so Haiti, as you know, always doing well. You know,
they're just a thriving country. Yeah.
Beautiful, winning.
You know, they had everything in hand. I'm sure the government had everything well within hand up until like last week when a group of gangs broke into all the prisons and broke out all the prisoners. And then the prisoners joined with the gangs to overthrow the government. And then the president fled the country. He flew to Kenya to hide because the gangs took over Haiti. And now the gangs are giving ultimatums. So literally,
let's see how it pans out.
Like Haiti fell. It got conquered like in a game of Civilization. And nobody even noticed.
That's awesome.
It looks about the same.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's like in Civilization, if you're really bad at Civ, like if you have like 0 defense, the barbarians will very rarely conquer your city. And everybody's like, "What the fuck happened? The barbarians got you?" It's like, yeah. That's what happened to Haiti. They got conquered by the barbarians this last week.
Dude, they didn't tech into fucking pottery or whatever it takes to keep the barbarians out. I never played Civ. I don't know.
Pottery would help.
I know that's the first thing you get is pottery. Yeah, well, so what are we like involved in Haiti now?
No one cares.
There's no
It's
oil
Haiti,
in
man.
Haiti, you
Well,
silly
yeah, what do you?
goose.
I don't give
They
a
ain't got
shit.
no oil. They ain't got no cadmium. They don't have any cobalt, no lithium.
Yeah.
All they got is.
There's lots of other beach options.
And for some reason, they don't have any fucking trees. I don't know what happened there, France.
Yeah, they need to. They should. I mean, at a certain point, just plant more trees, right?
Yeah, the
You
primary
know,
exports of
think-
Haiti
so-
are clothing, scrap
It doesn't
metal,
work though.
vegetable oil, and
The trees
dates.
hold the topsoil there.
Dates.
So
Who's hard
Without
up for
the-
dates? I don't give a shit about Haiti.
Did you look that up? Is
I
that
did
their
look that
actual-
up. Those
Yeah,
are
but
primary
yeah.
exports.
Save again?
Clothing, scrap metal, vegetable oil, dates, and cocoa. Maybe the cocoa would be nice.
Okay.
yeah, yeah. The fact that scrap metal is one of your chief exports says a lot.
Other
What,
Right?
what is your chief
Yeah.
export? Garbage. Garbage. we have
Simply
they're
broke.
busted. Cool.
No, they
Garbage.
don't. You don't lead that. They go, it is cocoa, and then some other stuff.
I want to hear about the other stuff. Don't
I'm
worry
an
about
idiot.
that.
Do not
Is
worry
cocoa
about.
cocoa's chocolate, right?
Yeah.
Cocoa, yeah.
Eventually.
Pieces of
Coca
chocolate.
is cocaine, right?
Cacao is what they
Cocaine.
actually. Cacao is what they actually export,
Yeah.
I'm sure, because there's
Yeah.
no way they can process cacao in that shithole country. So I guarantee it says cacao, not
It
cocoa.
says cocoa. I'm looking at it.
What
How do you spell it?
website?
Stuxnet was also, we now know, a project of the U.S. and Israeli governments codenamed Olympic Games. There you see President Ahmadinejad standing among those tall cylinders, and those are P1 centrifuges at Natanz in Iran. Each one of those cylinders spins at high speed containing uranium hexafluoride, and as you look down the row, you are seeing a centrifuge cascade intended to enrich uranium way beyond 3 to 4% needed for power reactors, way beyond the 20% that is usable for weapons, all the way to weapons grade at 85+%.
And good night.
Good night.